Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the channel, Shelly's Millions, where we go live every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. to mostly talk about finance and budget. If you have specific questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll talk about them. Today, I work at a movie theater. That's my main job. So it's the 2024 Oscars this evening. And so we're going to largely talk about that, go over my thoughts on that, just what's up for nomination, find out what you guys have seen, what you still are waiting to see, that kind of thing. But of course, again, if you guys want to talk about something else, just let me know in the chat and we will switch gears. I do want to say that today is the time change, spring forward, fall back. Oh, excuse me. So I read a really good tip on spring forward, fall back. That is, every time that happens, oh, Marshall lives in Tijuana. I didn't know that. Hello, good morning to you. So we had to spring forward this morning. So last week, this would have been 10 a.m., but this week it's 11 a.m. And one of the great tips that I read about when we do the time change for spring forward, fall back, is that that's a good time to replace all the batteries in your smoke detectors. So that'll mean that twice a year, you're changing those batteries, you're making sure that they're fresh, and then you won't have the annoying smoke detector batteries chirping at you. I feel like I have something caught in my throat. I'm going to drink coffee. That means you guys take a second and like the video, please. Whew. All right, so change your smoke detector batteries twice a year when the time changes. What else did I want to say? I screenshotted something for you guys because I thought that this was cool. Since we talk about finance and budget chat, we're going to try and tie that into the Oscars. So what I took a screenshot of is Shake Shack is doing a little promo with the Oscars, and it says, we've got your Sunday plans figured out. There's going to be something where you can get a free item from Shake Shack, and here's how we're going to determine which free item to get from Shake Shack. There is a disclaimer that you have to spend at least $10 to get the free item. And I never recommended going somewhere unless you're going to go somewhere anyway, but I feel like a lot of families do eat out on Sunday. So this is their little Oscar promotion. And it seems like you'd only be able to do this after the Oscars because it says they're doing it based on how long the Oscars will last. So Shake Shack has crunched the numbers to estimate how long the Oscars will last this year. So they predicted that the Oscars will last 3 hours and 31 minutes. If the Oscars run over that time, you would get a free chicken shacks. If it runs under that time, they'll offer free smoke shacks. Either way, we all win big this Sunday. And then what else does it say? Either prize will be delicious. The chicken shack is a crispy chicken breast with lettuce, pickles, and buttermilk herb mayo on a toasted potato bun. And the smoke shack is a tasty cheeseburger topped with applewood smoked bacon, chopped cherry peppers, and the fan favorite shack sauce. It's hard to say shack sauce. Okay. There's a small catch. You must purchase a minimum order of $10 in order to receive the free chicken shack or smoke shack. So this Sunday, tune into the Oscars and be a winner. So there's that. Okay. Let's see here. And you'll notice I haven't heard anybody refer to this year's Oscars as Oscarheimer. So that's what I named it. Because, with Barbie and Oppenheimer, they were calling it Barbenheimer. So we're going to call this Oscarheimer, this year's Oscars. Okay, Rocky says, you saw on Indeed certain fast food places are showing $20 an hour, like Little Caesars. I thought, wow, it's really going to happen. Yeah, they have to. It's for sure going to happen. The $20 an hour minimum fast food wage, that's law here in California. So that's good to note. If you work for a fast food chain, that it doesn't go into effect until April 1st, but I guess that's like 2 weeks from now. So maybe, okay, for anybody who doesn't know what Rocky's talking about, I know we said we'd talk about the Oscars, and we will. Starting April 1st, which is 3 weeks from now, basically, they have to increase the prices, like Subway, Little Caesars, Pizza Hut. It's any fast food chain that has more than 60 locations nationwide. It doesn't have to just be in California, it has to be nationwide. They have more than 60 locations and they're classified as a fast food restaurant. So like a Denny's wouldn't count because that's like a sit-down restaurant where a server comes to you. But if it's primarily like you come in, you get your food, you take it home with you, or primarily drive-through, that kind of thing, then that would count. They need to be paying their workers $20 an hour in the state of California, all the workers, a minimum of $20 an hour. Okay, starting April 1st. So that's probably why they're advertising that on Indeed now, because think about it, like if I apply on Indeed and then I get my interview and then I get hired, that's probably going to be like maybe a 3-week process. So by the time I get hired, it's going to be $20 an hour. But also make sure that if they're advertising that, if they're saying that that's what you're going to get now, that they go ahead and pay it now, even though technically it doesn't go into effect until April 1st. Okay. Andrew says, got in an argument with a friend of yours who always plays the lotto. I tell him I will never win and his odds are dismal. I say it's a waste of money. Do you agree? So, yes, absolutely, I agree. However, I totally get why people would buy a lottery ticket, right? Yes, the chances are bad. They're very bad. Mathematically, it never makes sense to play the lottery, okay? It's not a good use of your money. However, psychologically, I can understand. Even for someone like me, right? I've named the channel Shelly's Millions. I'm trying to become a millionaire or a multimillionaire. I have big goals. I'm on a path to win them. But when I think about how long it's going to take, it would be much easier to win the lottery. So sometimes, usually when it's like right around $1 billion, I'll go ahead and buy a ticket because I can afford to spend the dollar. Is it most likely a waste? Yes, but it is fun, right? For a dollar, you can have the dream of what you would do with all that money. You can buy into the fantasy, and there's this, even though the chance is very, very, very small, um, you're participating in that, right? And I think that's how they get people. And you certainly shouldn't do that. Like if you can't afford, like if you're having trouble buying groceries, don't buy into the lottery, right? It's just mathematically not a good decision. But I do understand why people do it. Okay, Rocky's saying that the price of fast food will increase. Yes, most likely. Hi, Miri. It's good to see you. Yeah, Rocky's saying, yep, it's just crazy to see it in print that they're officially offering that $20 an hour. Absolutely. You can afford fast food. Okay. Linda says the lotto targets poor neighborhoods and people with lower income. It's kind of a disgusting thing. Tell people who need money there's hope, but really the odds are against them. Yeah, the odds are not there. It is not a financially smart decision. But I do understand. So, I try to really be a judgment-free zone here on this channel. But yeah, it plays on the fact that they know that people don't necessarily have the other options to do that another way. But my mom used to say it's fun to dream, right? So if you can afford the dollar, then do it. I will also say this is so weird, but well, it's not weird, but it's kind of like symptomatic. My best friend that runs the garage for work from home, they smoke cigarettes. And during the pandemic, we would carpool a lot. Just do our errands. We were, isolating, but because they smoked, we would still go and get them cigarettes from like 7-Eleven. And I will say that just being in the 7-Eleven, I would say that personally, that just going in alone upped my chances that I would buy something that I didn't need, either junk food or like lottery tickets or something like that. And there's also lots of information that say like people that smoke are more likely to come from like lower incomes and thing. And so it just is interesting how all of that kind of plays in together. Alex is saying that they can't afford fast food with today's inflation. And Ben says, starting next month, your car insurance is going to be 25% more. So starting to cut back this month already. Yeah. And that's all. You know what? I'm going to say this again. And I believe I already have it linked. I drug my feet for the longest time on signing up for Mint Mobile. I have finally pulled the trigger on that. And I am with Mint Mobile now. So also I paired it with a Rakuten deal. So if you go to Rakuten, let's see if there's Mint, and I have them linked below too. Yeah, Mint Mobile. Okay, so if you start on Rakuten with Mint Mobile, if you're not with them already, you'll save up to $5. And if we hit shop now, let's see what the actual deal is. Okay, new customers receive 50% off a 3-month unlimited premium wireless. It was $30 a month, but with Rakuten, it's already going to make it $15 a month. And then you're going to save an additional $5. So what I did is I first launched Rakuten before I signed up for Mint Mobile. Then my first 3 months of my cell phone service, it made my bill $45, but then 45 minus the 5, so it made it $40 for 3 months of unlimited data cell phone service. And then I also have an American Express card that offered me like $15, I want to say, off of a $45 purchase. And how Rakuten works is it doesn't actually make, like when I was checking out for those first 3 months at $45, it doesn't take the $5 off immediately. It gives you the $5 down in like your little account. I don't know if you could see that. I have like $3.67. So they send this to you quarterly. I've just started doing Rakuten this year, and my lifetime cash back is $125. So one, I'm really liking Rakuten. Two, like you can combo the promotions to get everything for even cheaper. So 3 months of cell phone service on Mint Mobile, even without any of the extra steps, like if you're like, that's too many steps, Shelly, like $45 for 3 months, like I was paying $81 a month for my cell phone. So yeah, like I think that's so smart though, Ben, that you're already looking at cutting back this month to afford for future things. Yes, I think Ryan Reynolds, if he doesn't own it, he's certainly like involved with them. He does do their commercials, and yeah, he's a likable guy, right? But that's like marketing 101. Get like a likable person and have them sell your product. So, but it's actually like it's been a good product. I haven't noticed like any difference in my cell phone service since switching to Mint. And I actually had them when I traveled internationally, and they were fine there too. I will say, so they say it only takes like 15 minutes to transfer your same cell phone number over. It took me longer than 15 minutes. I wanna say it took me like 2 hours. It wasn't quite as easy as they made it out to be, but I got it done. And, I feel like since I transferred the number over to a new provider, I feel like it's, like, somehow in the system as a brand new number, and I do feel like I'm getting more spam calls. I bet there's just something like a setting that I need to go through, an update, or, like, something that I need to block. I don't feel like that's Mint Mobile's fault, but it does seem to coincide with when I switched over to Mint that I'm getting more calls. But I had an old coworker, right? And he said anybody who answers their phone in 2024 is an idiot, basically. He's like, nobody picks up their phone, just even if it's someone you know, pretty much like let it go to voicemail, let them like leave you a message and see if it's urgent. Don't answer your phone, right? But it's still annoying, like if you're doing something else and your phone is ringing. Anyway, whatever. I like Mint Mobile and they're very affordable. And that if that's something that you guys want to check out, I do have an affiliate link linked down below. It might be a way for you guys to save money so that you can then prepare for things for yourself, like the car insurance, because yeah, car insurance is going up for everybody about 25 to 30%. And Alex was the first one that notified me about that. So yeah, and everything's going up. Like the utilities are going up, and car insurance, home insurance, utilities, probably the cost of fast food. Oh, and medical insurance. So everything like insurance-wise seems to be going up this year. Medical, car, homeowners insurance, and all that. Okay. Anthony says, I love when Anthony and Ben are both in here because I can't say either one of their names on YouTube for risk of like getting demonetized. But anyway, I do love seeing both of their names in here. Okay, you found an old iPod in storage and it has such bangers on it, older Beyonce songs and dance music. You're jamming to your old collection and it's so awesome. All right, we're gonna see, Anthony, if I have my old iPod right here. No, I don't see my old iPod, but what I have found handy dandy in my dead electronics is my my pink razor. Hello, my pink razor called and wants to know what's on your iPod. With a totally cracked screen. Do not ask me why I still have this. I actually know why I still have this. One, I secretly love this phone. And number two, I think if we're saving money, I think we're all gonna have to go back to like using our old phones. I have a picture on this that I'm like, I'm gonna get that off one day. Like, I am one of those people. Like, I'm probably never gonna get that off. I don't even know where the charger to this is. Okay. Also, do you need like cheap airplane headphones? Because I have those saved as well. No, not that pair. How about this pair then? No? Oh my god. There's like 4 pairs of wired. Oh, wait. Well, somewhere in here, I promise you, is my old iPod as well. I feel like I should just sell mine on eBay. Selling things on eBay, also a way to supplement some of your income. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. You guys know that means to like the video. I am going to start sharing. You love Ben's YouTube name. Yes. I mean, it's a cool name. We just can't say it, right? Okay. All right. Hang on. Sharing my little YouTube screen. Okay. Oscars 2024. All right. So, you guys, we're going to get into the Oscars because I feel like I have to. So this is going to make Debbie happy. Debbie is not in here. She's like the one person that's missing. Did Debbie remember about the time change? All right, guys. And for anybody popping in late, the one good tip about when it's spring forward, fall back is to change your fire alarm batteries. I need to do that. All right. We need to do a meetup with Ben and Anthony one day. Okay, so, and a meetup with Andrew and Infinity. There's a lot of people that I would love to like see collab like in real life. Okay, so change your smoke detector batteries today since it's spring forward, fall back. That's a good time to remember to do it. I need to remember to not just tell you guys to do it, but actually get up and do it myself. So the number one movie this weekend at my theater, and probably most theaters, was still Dune 2. I haven't seen it. That is gonna be a time commitment. It's over 3 hours. So Dune 2, the number one movie this week. Then we opened Kung Fu Panda 4. Uh, and that looks super cute. Might wanna take my mom to go see that one, but it's not doing as well as I would have hoped at my theater. Then, of course, people catching up on all the Oscar-nominated films that maybe they haven't seen so far. So, I don't think Oppenheimer is playing in theaters right now. So, but like the Oscar-nominated shorts, the documentaries, the live action shorts, the animated shorts, Poor Things, what else is nominated? Let's go through the nominations. And yeah, I think that's what we're mostly doing today. But yeah, but Rocky, thank you for pointing out that you were starting to already see that $20 fast food minimum wage. And I did not really realize how close we were to April 1st when that's going into effect. Okay, so also, if you guys are people that you don't necessarily care about the Oscars and you want to go to the movies, but you don't like going when it's crowded, Oscar Sunday is a great time to go to the movies. Anytime between this 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. time slot or later. Jillian says, even just being nominated is an honor, even if a movie doesn't win the actual award. That's absolutely true. Being recognized in some of these high level categories for your work is absolutely an honor. That is absolutely true. And I haven't seen you in our chat before. I manage a movie theater. Even just getting nominated, it brings people in to see the movie who maybe wouldn't have seen the movie otherwise. Okay, so the Oscars are gonna be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And the website that I like to use is just this the oscars.org. So let's go ahead and go over there. Okay, and let's just go through all these different categories. And even though I work in a movie theater, I do not have any insight into who's actually going to win. As a matter of fact, I'm not very good at picking. A lot of my coworkers used to be. I'm gonna blow my nose, you guys. I'm so sorry. Okay. Woo. All right. So the nominees are. Oh, I'm probably going to butcher people's names. All right. Well, Jillian, welcome back. We still talk about finance. We talk a lot about that $20 an hour minimum wage and the insurance price increases, taxes, the usual. So if you ever want to talk about budget or finance, feel free to pop in. But of course, my regular job is a movie theater. So we talk a lot about which movies are doing well. And it makes sense, seems like, to talk about the Oscars today since they're later on this evening. And I work later on this evening, so I don't know how much of the Oscars I'll be able to see, but I do know that it's usually a pretty slow night at the movie theater, so hopefully I'll be able to catch some of it. All right, actor in a leading role. Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin. I have not seen either of those films. Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Okay, so I've seen The Holdovers and American Fiction. Of course, Maestro is currently on Netflix. I loved The Holdovers, but I think it's going to go, even though I haven't seen it, you guys see that I titled my stream Oscarheimer. And I really think that Oppenheimer is going to kind of sweep the Oscars this year. Let me know if you agree with that. But yeah, so I think Cillian Murphy is going to win. Okay, actor in a supporting role. Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling, Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. Okay. So I have seen all of these with the exception of Oppenheimer. Oh, I kind of, I don't know. I really think this one's up in the air for me. Again, I'm not good at picking. I'm going to go with Ryan Gosling for Barbie. Actress in a leading role. Annette Bening for Naiad. That is also on Netflix currently. Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Sandra Huller for Anatomy of a Fall. That's another one I haven't seen. I hear that is excellent. So I need to see that one. Carrie Mulligan in Maestro and Emma Stone for Poor Things. I know that there's been a lot of attention for Emma Stone on Poor Things. My former boss, if he's watching, he pointed out that Lily Gladstone won the SAG award for Killers of the Flower Moon. So oftentimes, if an actor or actress wins in a different like a different award, it can be an indicator that they're going to also win the Oscar. So the fact that Lily Gladstone won the SAG award could be an indicator that she's going to win the Oscar. And I did see her in Killers of the Flower Moon. I watched that film, and I do think she was excellent in it. Emma Stone's performance in Poor Things has been so controversial, though. A lot of times when there's like a lot of talk about a film, a lot of buzz and a lot of Oscar buzz, that could mean that she's going to win as well. And I would, for me, it's probably between those two. Okay. Bonnie says, hello, and that she lives a few blocks away from the Dolby Theater. There's helicopters, sirens, and street closures. That does not sound fun. So yeah, be careful if you're out driving around there. Make sure to account for traffic. And maybe don't go into Hollywood today if you're in the area and can avoid it. All right, I'm gonna take another sip of coffee. That means it's time to like the video. All right, actress in a supporting role. The nominees are Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, American Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Naiad, Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. Oh my goodness. I really loved her performance in The Holdovers. And I also liked American Ferrera in Barbie. Oh, I want to go with Davine Joy Randolph. Okay. Animated feature film, The Boy and the Heron, which is Hayao Miyazaki and Toshio Suzuki. Elemental, which is Peter Schoen and Denise Ream. I might have to stop saying the names of some of the people because I don't want to butcher them. But anyway, Nimona by Nick Bruno, Troy. See, this is where I start to get into trouble. Troy Quane, Karen Ryan, and Julie Zachary. Robot Dreams by Pablo Berger, Iban Cormanzana, Ignacy Estape, and Sandra Tapia Diaz. And then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is Kemp Powders, Justin K. Thompson, Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, and Amy Pascal. I feel like they're going to give it to The Boy and the Heron, which I saw this year. I normally like Miyazaki's animated films. For me, I think that's going to get it. This is going to be Miyazaki's final animated film. I think my second, my runner-up would be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. But I think Miyazaki's going to get it. Ooh, Anthony. Okay. When I saw Madonna live, did she sing her song Hollywood from her 23 album American Life? That's a personal favorite, not a huge single by her forever. She did not, that I recall. Oh, but I was naughty. The whole reason why we went to Portugal to see Madonna play is we were like, oh, we can get better seats than we can in the US for less money. But then the same friend that I saw her with in Portugal called me this week and was like, hey, Shelly, do you actually want to go see her in Los Angeles? And we maybe went on Thursday. So I saw her a second time, and it's a really great show. If you can make it to go see Madonna, the Celebration Tour, 10 out of 10 recommend that. I liked it so much. I saw it twice. All right, cinematography nominees for the Oscars tonight are, I'm going to quit saying everybody's name, I think, because I'm going to really struggle. El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I feel like that's also going to be Oppenheimer. Costume design. The nominees are Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Oh dear. Okay. I haven't seen Oppenheimer, but I'm thinking that really okay. This is terrible, and I do not mean to demean anybody's work, right? But Oppenheimer seems like they're just doing like, that time frame. Same with Napoleon. There's like historical references, kind of same with Killers of the Flower Moon. Barbie, I think, is interesting because it's all like a doll that they brought to real life. And then Poor Things, if you've seen that, like her outfits are just like amazing. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm rooting for Poor Things or Barbie to win costume design. Okay, directing. Anatomy of a Fall, Justin Triet. I don't want to like not say people's names. I don't know which is worse, like not saying the names of the people, or if I say them and I butcher them. All right, Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese, Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan, Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos, The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer. I feel like that's going to be Oppenheimer. But secretly, I might be wishing that that's Poor Things. I did really like Poor Things. Okay, documentary feature film. I probably have not seen most of these. Okay, Bobby Wine for the People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Mariupol. I'm not even 100% sure I saw that right. I really have no idea on this. But I want to say something because I want to look back on this and see if I was right. So I'm just going to blindly guess The Eternal Memory. Okay, documentary short film. Again, I haven't seen any of these, but the nominees are The ABCs of Book Banning. That sounds interesting, though. The Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, and Nene and Waipo. Why do I feel like that might be on Netflix? I don't know. Okay, so again, I haven't seen any of these. I'm just going to go with the ABCs of Book Banning. Film editing. Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I'm just going to keep going. I haven't seen Oppenheimer, but I do believe that Oppenheimer is the front runner, so we're just going to go with Oppenheimer on that as well. Okay. International feature film. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something funny on this, guys. All right, so I normally do the recording for my job, and if you're my job, you didn't hear this. I didn't say this if you're my actual job. So I definitely did not do this. So, and especially like the way we saw it on our information, it really looked like a letter I and then a kind of like a 0. So maybe on the recording, I said Io Capitano. And then a guest came in and they said, I'd like a ticket for Lo Capitano. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much more sense. Why would it be Io Capitano? It's probably Lo Capitano. Even though all the information that I had kind of made that O really look like a 0. And then shout out to my old boss who really, he knows his stuff. I asked him, I said, hypothetically, how would you say that title? And he said, Io Capitano. Like the I is a E, and it's not an L. It is a letter I, but because it's Italian, it's pronounced more like an E. So it was not Io Capitano, which is what I said on the recording. unless you're my employer, and then I definitely did not say that on the recording. But it wasn't Lo Capitano, which is what the guest said, that I was like, oh, that makes way more sense. It's Io Capitano. Dang it. Anyway, well, you live, you learn. Io Capitano. Okay. Then there's a film called Perfect Days. Then we've got Society of the Snow, The Teacher's Lounge, and The Zone of Interest. I will say, I'll say that I haven't seen any of these. All right, Society of the Snow. I don't think it's going to be that one. I have a feeling it's going to be The Zone of Interest. My theater's currently playing Perfect Days, and that one looks really good. I am going to see that as soon as I get a chance to see it. And obviously, since I said Io Capitano, I had to say it on the recording, but we're no longer playing that. And that one came and went really fast, and that's kind of why I'm leaning towards The Zone of Interest. That one has been playing in the theater for a while. There's been a lot of interest, so I haven't seen it, but I kind of just think that that's going to be the one that wins. And again, guys, don't listen to me. Don't go to your Oscar parties and be like, well, Shelly works in a movie theater. She knows. Shelly doesn't know. Shelly does not always have a lot of time to see the movies, but this is just fun for me to guess. And it's fun to take a little break from, complaining about our finances and just kind of focus on something else. And one of my favorite things about the Oscars is, of course, the dresses that the actresses wear to the event themselves. I do like that. I love that part of it. Okay. Makeup and hairstyling nominees. For Golda, for Maestro, for Oppenheimer, for Poor Things, and for Society of the Snow. Oh, I don't know. We're going to go with Poor Things on that one. I'm totally guessing. All right, music, original score. We've got American Fiction, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Okay, I did hear a lot of people say that they really like the score to Poor Things, but again, I'm going to go Oppenheimer on that one. Okay, music, original song. We've got The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot. Music and lyrics by Diane Warren. I'm Just Ken from Barbie. Music and lyrics by Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt. It Never Went Away from American Symphony. Music and lyric by John Batiste and Dan Wilson. Oh boy. Oh no. I don't want to. Dang it. Wazaze. I'm sorry if I'm butchered that, from Killers of the Flower Moon. Music and lyric by Scott George. What Was I Made For from Barbie. Music and lyric by Billie Eilish and Phineas O'Connell. All right, I think What Was I Made For is the favorite, and so that's my official answer. But honestly, I'm Just Ken was so fun. But I will also say that I kind of feel like the Oscars aren't where we do the just fun options. I feel like the Oscars are more serious. So I feel like What Was I Made For is going to win. All right. Best Picture. The nominees are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. I think it's going to be Oppenheimer. All right. But I kind of wish that it was going to be Poor Things. All right. Production design would be Barbie. Okay, I want it to be Barbie. I'm just going to say that. So I feel like that's the set, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it's the set. And the set for Barbie was amazing. Okay, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I'm going with Barbie on that. All right, animated short film uh is Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform, Pachyderme, War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. I feel like it's going to go to War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. Okay, live action short film. It's going to be The After, Invincible, King of Fortune, Red, White, and Blue, and The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. On some of this, and I don't know if this is true or not, this is just kind of what I think. I feel like Wes Anderson is the name that we've heard of the most, so I'm just going to go with Wes Anderson. The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. That's on Netflix right now as well. Okay, sound. We've got The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. Okay, I'm going to again go with Oppenheimer. My second choice would be Maestro. Visual effects. The nominees are The Creator, Godzilla -1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon. Okay. Oh, I want it to be Godzilla -1, but I don't think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Okay, let's see if you guys have any questions or comments back over here in the chat. Hello. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. All right, I'm going to put this up as the comment while we go through the rest of these. All right, writing adapted screenplay. The nominees are American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. We're still going to go with Oppenheimer. Most of the time when I guess Oppenheimer, though, I probably secretly, I want it to be either Poor Things or Barbie. I really did like both of those. Okay, writing original screenplay. Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, or Past Lives. I think I'm going to go with The Holdovers on this one. All right, and that looks like it's everything. So as I'm going through the Oscars, I like to, or at least that's all the major categories, right? I think there's some other awards maybe that they do like the day before. Oh, interesting. It looks like we can go through all let's see if we do 2023. If you do, okay, so if you do 2023, so as the awards get announced, it'll change. So it'll say the winner. So last year for actor, it was Brandon Fraser for The Whale. Actor in a supporting role, it was Ki Hugh Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. His speech made me cry. Of course, he's the one who was in The Goonies when he was younger. Actress last year, Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And then I'm going to skip all the way down. Where is best film last year? I think it was Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, it was Best Picture, Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was a very interesting film. I really enjoyed that a lot. It's just interesting. I didn't remember what was nominated last year. Okay. So, yeah, oscars.org is the website that I'll be using as I go through that. I'm sure we'll be paying attention to it tonight at work because sometimes if something really unexpected wins, like it might be possible that if Oppenheimer wins everything, that like maybe you would start to see that come back in the theaters a little bit more. Let me change back to 2024 in the background. Um, Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to click on in terms of years since I have the website up. Yeah, and I think I have to be at work at 3 today. Would I have time to watch Oppenheimer? I wouldn't because Oppenheimer is long. It's like 3 hours long. So I'm not gonna have a chance to get caught up and see that before I actually have to go into work today. So, yeah, I'll be watching, but I don't know how much I'll be able to watch because I will be at work. But a lot of times, like this can impact, like if something gets released back into the theaters, if something won a lot of awards, but people didn't really have a chance to like see it in theaters yet, or just because, like Jillian says, being nominated is an honor, even if it doesn't win. But if it does win, that brings a lot of extra attention to it, and that can cause people to want to go see it. All right, guys, I think I'm going to end today's live early unless anybody has anything that they want me to, like a different year for the Oscars. Okay, actually, I just changed my mind because we're allowed to do that. I'm going to go back to the year when I started working in theaters, which was 1996. And I'm going to just look at what was like nominated and winning the year that I started. And I'll tell you, okay, without looking, these were the films that were playing at the movie theater and that I remember the year I started. Kolya, Unhook the Stars, Big Night. Kolya, Unhook the Stars, Big Night. I don't know if any of those were even nominated. But let's see. I feel like maybe they were. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. So this is the year 1996 when I started working at the movie theater. Nicolas Cage won for Leaving Las Vegas. For supporting role, Kevin Spacey won for The Usual Suspects. I don't remember that being out that year. Okay, actress was Susan Sarandon for Dead Man Walking. Okay, actress Mira Sorvino for Mighty Aphrodite. Art direction was Restoration by Eugenio Zanetti. Cinematography was Braveheart. Costume design was Restoration. Directing was Braveheart. Documentary was Anne Frank Remembered. A documentary short. Subject was One Survivor Remembers. Editing was Apollo 13. Oh, you know what? I feel like, okay, 96 would have actually been the films from 95, right? So I need to be looking at 97. That's what I need to do. Okay, we got to do that. I'm like, wait, these films are not playing. Okay. All right. So we got to do 97 because those are mostly the films that were released in 96. Okay. So like this year, right? It's the 2024 Oscars, but the films that are nominated came out in 2023, right? That's how that works. Okay. I'm slow sometimes. All right. So it would be the 1997 Oscars would be the first Oscars after I started working in the theater. Yeah, and these films sound much more familiar to me. So Jeffrey Rush and Shine. I did see that. It was really good. I feel like I saw a lot more movies when I was younger and like had more time. Okay. All right. Actor in a supporting role was Cuba Gooding Jr. for Jerry Maguire. Actress in a leading role was Frances McDormand in Fargo. I loved that movie. Okay, Secrets and Lies. Was also playing at my movie theater the year I started. So I'm definitely looking at the right like time frame now. Okay, actress in a supporting role was Juliette Binoche in The English Patient. Art direction was The English Patient. Cinematography was The English Patient. Costume designer was The English Patient. Okay, apparently The English Patient swept. And I remember this theater is not part of our chain anymore, but in Pasadena was a theater called the Rialto. And my best friend that runs the garage used to work at the Rialto, and we would talk about how they were playing The English Patient, and they were like, "It's never gonna leave." I think that movie played like 11 months or something like that at the theater. Okay, documentary feature was When We Were Kings. Documentary short subject, Breathing Lessons, the life and work of Mark O'Brien. Film editing was The English Patient. Foreign language film, Colia, which was one of the ones that I mentioned was playing the year I started. There was an Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award, which went to Saul Zaintz. I don't know. See, I worry about butchering people's names. Okay, makeup went to The Nutty Professor. Music for original dramatic score was The English Patient. Music for the original music or comedy score went to Emma. Music original song went to Evita for You Must Love Me in Evita. Miss Madonna in that. Best Picture, English Patient. Short film animated, something called Quest. Short film live action, something called Dear Diary. Sound was The English Patient. Sound editing, The Ghost in the Darkness. Visual effects was Independence Day. Writing screenplay based on material previously produced or published was Sling Blade. Writing screenplay directly for the screen was Fargo. All right. So yeah, those definitely, that's a walk down memory lane right there. So I started working for the theaters in 1996, and then the movies would have been released, like the Oscars in 1997. All right. Now I've talked for almost my whole hour and I don't see any more questions. So I think I will head out. Guys, let me know a couple of things. One, in the comments down below. One, let me know what you'd like to talk about next week. Number two, let me know exactly how you're trying to cut expenses now to prepare for like the raise in car insurance and things like that. Let me know if you're going to try out Mint Mobile. I like them and recommend them. So I do have an affiliate link, which I think will save you even more money. So check that out below. You can also sign up for Rakuten first to save another $5. And I think you get like a $30 off deal. So check out, like I would pair Rakuten with Mint Mobile to save money on your cell phone and then use that money to pay for your car insurance. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in, if you're taking me up on that offer. Number three, let me know what if you're watching the Oscars tonight and what your predictions are. And yeah, that's it. So any future topics you'd like to talk about, if you're going to do Mint Mobile, or if you're already doing Mint Mobile, and then what your Oscar predictions are. All right, so let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching Shelly's Millions. Oh yeah, and let me know if you change your fire alarm batteries today, because I really think that's a great tip, that when it's spring forward and fall back, change the batteries in your smoke detector. Did I call it fire alarm? You guys know what I mean, in the smoke detector. All right, have a great rest of your Sunday. Thank you so much for watching Shelly's Millions. I'll see you next time.